The 8th annual Alexandria Film Festival returns this weekend, November 7th through 9th, 2014, with its biggest and best program yet. AMC Hoffman Theater 22 will be the site of all ticketed events, with Beatley Central Library again offering free programming to the public. The festival will screen more than 60 films on 3 screens, with more than 30 filmmakers on hand to take questions from the audience, who will come from as far as Sri Lanka and close as the Washington metropolitan area. Now that sounds pretty awesome. We have in studio today Chair of the Alexandria Film Festival, Patti North. Patti, welcome back, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Kevin.
It's kind of crazy because it's been about a year now, and we're back for, this is the 8th annual film festival. Awesome. So you're no stranger to the show, but for those who don't know, if you could just tell us a little bit about the film festival and what you do as chair of the film festival.
Well, I always joke that I'm the lowest paid volunteer. That's really the essence of my job title. The film festival was started essentially by the Alexandria Commission for the Arts, of which I was a member at the time. And it was really to do a couple of things. One was Alexandria has always been known as an art-centric destination. We have the Torpedo Factory, we have all these galleries. But there was this explosion in digital art that was kind of happening under the radar, and we wanted to bring it above the radar. And so the film festival was, in a sense, an answer to that. The other thing we wanted to focus on is Alexandria being very diverse. It's got people from every country in the world living there. And it's a little bit of a way to celebrate that sort of rich fabric texture that we make up, the picture, the beautiful tapestry that's Alexandria, if I could use that metaphor. So 8 years later, here we are. The film festival in 2011 became independent from the city, but we still very much enjoy the city's support. In fact, we got a grant this year from the commission to do a special program called An Exploration of Art and Mind. And it's a series of films that focus on the very tangible way that art can have an impact on our lives, and in sometimes very surprising ways. For that segment, we have a film called Alive Inside that was the winner of the Audience Award at the 2014 Sundance Film Festival that just passed. And the producer will be with us. And it's just an incredible film about people who, when they hear music, they may be incapacitated through Alzheimer's or a memory disease.
Yes, that was kind of a viral video, wasn't it? Where like when it was older population that when they would hear the music, then they would really come to life.
That's right. Okay. That's right, Kevin.
Wow.
And just parenthetical to that, I wanted to add, I was aware of this film before it went to Sundance. I tried to get it for last year's film festival, but as you probably know, everything that goes to Sundance has to be a debut. Right. And the guy was smart to do it because he won. But he made a commitment to me that they would be here this year, and they are. Several months after I had seen the film, and about 3 months after it won at Sundance, my own father had a stroke. And I had the personal experience of seeing him not being able to speak more than a word or two, but if you sang a song with him, he could sing every word.
Wow.
So they're really understanding, and even in my personal experience, how music affects the brain in ways that we don't fully understand, but that we can use to improve our faculties, improve our brain plasticity, as they call it. So that's going to be a really interesting film. And there's we have another film in that same segment called Tango Your Life, and it's about how people embrace tango in more than one way. It becomes a metaphor for life and love for them. And we will have a live tango demonstration, an interactive tango lesson for the audience that day. So there's going to be some exciting things going on.
That's cool. And I definitely want to get into just the showcase. But if we can backtrack just for a second, can you take us through what is a typical day as chair of the festival prior to the festival and during the festival? Because when I was looking at the website, I printed out the programming. It's like 13 pages of programming. That's a lot. So how do you go about, putting all this together?
Well, the best metaphor I can think of is like, juggling torches.
That's scary.
Because it is kind of a chain reaction. I mean, I have a wonderful executive committee. They're fantastic. We have a whole network of volunteers, but we start putting out the call for entries in the spring, and we have films coming in, and then we have to review them. We have to get venue space. We have to figure out how much space we have, how many films we can accept. As soon as we kind of get around that bend, it becomes time to fundraise. We fundraise all year, and we have wonderful sponsors who we depend on. You can't do this without money. That's what it comes down to.
Right.
We have all the hard workers and sweat equity and all that, but at the end of the day, you have bills to pay.
Right. Of course.
That's just a reality for even a nonprofit organization.
Right.
So then we have to promote the films, and we have to promote the festival, and that because again we are low budget. We are dependent and very thankful to things like Picture Lock
I'm just kidding.
that help us get the word about this really wonderful program. And the filmmakers themselves, you said we have over 30. We have, at today's count, is 43.
Wow.
Filmmakers coming in, 63 films.
And honestly, from my experience with film festivals, that's really an achievement because it's not something that's just totally easy to do, getting filmmakers to come. So I think that says a lot about the Alexandria Film Festival, that filmmakers want to take the time to be here. Obviously, you said that some filmmakers are coming as far as Sri Lanka. That's a long ways away. So this is a pretty important film festival to these filmmakers.
Yeah, and we're really gratified by that. I mean, I think it's also, to be fair, Alexandria is a really fun town to spend a few days in, and we're close to the city. But I do think that, and I hope that it is evidence of a mounting reputation within the film industry. And I think our filmmakers do go away feeling that they've been very well cared for. Our VIP handler makes up a goodie bag for each filmmaker. We make sure they get transportation. But yeah, it is a lot of hands on deck.
Right. And that's perfect because I know from personally going to film festivals as a filmmaker, it always makes me feel great when, you get this goodie bag or something as small as literally they printed out a star with my name on it, and it makes you feel good, because one, you're seeing your film on the big screen, which is everyone's dream, right? But then at the same time that you're not just another number, you're not just another entry fee, but you're actually getting some care from the festival itself.
Oh, and thanks to Margaret Wohler, our VIP handler, you get homemade cookies in your bag.
Can I be on the VIP list?
Well, I'll have to ask Margaret.
Yeah. All right. So with 60 films being showcased, or is it over 60?
63.
Okay, 63. How do you come up with the programming for the festival?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I think we do it pretty much exactly the way, NBC and ABC does. I mean, we have a big board. We write the films, we have times. I mean, you always wish for some kind of computer program that could do it, but it really is an art because you have to decide, if you're going to do, say, a showcase of shorts, which shorts go together. You don't want the same kind of film. People will get bored, but you want a mixture that people are going to say, oh, I like that. I was glad I saw that. Oh, I'm glad I saw that.
Right.
We try really hard. Sometimes I got an email last year from someone who said that they had left depressed.
Oh, no.
And I was like, well, filmmakers do like to focus on, drama and conflict and, that's kind of part of the art of it. But so this year I tried to sneak in a little happy piece.
That's nice. A little pick-me-up.
Little pick-me-up, yes.
All right. So I love the fact that you all always have a sustainability showcase. So would you talk about what kind of films we can expect to see in that?
Sure. There's a film called Drill, Spill, Repeat. And I don't think a lot of people know, I did not know how much offshore drilling there actually is out there. I mean, the film has interviews a helicopter pilot, which she goes out and she films all these rigs. And you can see that there's rigs in the ocean as far as the eye can see. It's much, much more than I think anybody, because we can't see it, right?
Right.
So when the BP disaster happened, people sort of woke up. But what they don't realize is that the amount of drilling is not going down. In fact, there's a move afoot to have the same sort of thing you see in the Gulf in the Atlantic. So we thought it was really important for the audience to understand that this is something that could be coming to our ocean backyard. And how do they feel about it?
Right.
The other thing, too, is you would, not to pick on BP, but, they've been doing a lot of PR about, their efforts to clean up and how successful they've been. A lot of people who are interviewed for the film have a different story to tell. So we thought, it's important. It does present a particular point of view, as film does, but we think it's important for their stories to get out there and for people to understand what's entailed when you have thousands of oil rigs in your ocean.
Right, yeah, most definitely. I've noticed that the venue changed from the Old Town Theater to AMC Hoffman, which I would think is bittersweet, and you can explain why. But would you say that it's bittersweet? And for those who don't know, if you can just explain the situation with the Old Town Theater, and also just you all moving to AMC Hoffman, which is pretty awesome.
Yes, bittersweet is a very good word for that, because the Old Town Theater that turned 100 years old in 2014 is no more as a theater. It's a great loss to the community, I think. But that said, the owner put a lot of time and effort into trying to make that work and was unable to do so. For any variety of reasons that depending on who you ask, will have their own opinion for why it didn't work. But I'm hopeful that it may come back someday. There is kind of a nationwide trend of one-screen movie theaters not being able to be sustained economically. Why you see so many multiplexes, and there's like one projectionist, basically, who, with computers, is running all the screens. It's much more efficient. So one day I'd like to see the Alexandria Film Festival buy that theater and make that our home base.
That would be awesome.
Lots more fundraising
right.
Before that could happen. But we're very pleased that AMC Hoffman was able to accommodate us. And they have been just wonderful to work with, very cooperative and offering us, every courtesy and service that they possibly can. So, the trade-up is that we're going to be in a very professional theater that does this, all day, every day. And it'll be a little, from the standpoint of, having to be concerned about the technical issues, which we do in some places like the Lyceum, which is a wonderful historic building and fun to be in, but not a movie theater.
Right.
So we have a fantastic technical wizard, Ed Berkey, who downloads all the films and speaks that language, and I can just sort of forward the filmmaker emails onto him, and I call him the tech wizard.
Nice. Well, we only have a little bit of time left, but if you could, what are some of the highlights from the schedule this year? Maybe one of the most challenging films and most entertaining films that you think we'll see?
Well, we have a film from Uruguay this year, 23 Segundos, which is an excellent film, and the filmmaker will be coming. So we're very excited about that. It's a narrative fiction. A lot of what we do are documentaries, but we do like to have narrative fiction as well. As sort of I guess you'd say, an homage to Halloween, we have a feature film called Barry, which is 10 o'clock on Tuesday night. It's a scare flick. So for those of you who haven't gotten enough of Halloween yet, we have a wonderful film called Broadway Lullaby, and I love this film because it's about a woman who had someone in her family die of breast cancer, and she on her own decided that she was going to try to get all these well-known vocalists, Vanessa Williams is one of them, to record this album of lullabies, which they would sell and make money for breast cancer research. So, it's wonderfully done, and behind the scenes, Broadway and these great stars and all that. But it's really a story of what one person can do if they decide that they're going to, and that's really what I love about movies.
Yeah.
They say it's the empathy machine, but I also say it's like my friends laugh at me because I'll say, you know what, movies are life. Everything else is just reality.
Yeah.
And it's true.
Yeah. To an extent, I wish I could, you know, turn into like shapeshift or something like that, but I don't have that power.
Well, there
All
you
right. Well, Patti, if you could just let the viewers know where they can find out more information, buy tickets, etc.
Sure. At our website, alexandriafilm.org. It has the whole schedule on there and a link to our online ticket service, Eventbrite. Tickets are $12 online and $15 at the door. And you can get a pass to the entire festival, which is an amazing bargain, for $40.
Just $40 for 63 films.
$40 for 63 films, exactly.
That's
well,
pretty
this
good.
is more about the community and getting people out talking and seeing movies than making money. I mean, we already talked about the money part,
Right.
and that's important, but we really want to get people in and to fill up the theaters and talk to the filmmakers and with each other. That's why our tagline is celebrating independence, because it's all about independent films and it's about the independent in you.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for, you know, just sharing the festival. I went last year. It was awesome. And thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk with local filmmaker Paula O'Neill about her upcoming film, Blind Courage. We'll be right back.